Hello everyone, welcome to the Object-Oriented Programming through Java session. Today we are going to learn member access rules. So myself, Navya, I am an assistant professor of CSIT department from MLRIT. So in this session, you are going to learn what are access modifiers or access specifiers, and you are going to learn member access rules. Here there are two types of access modifiers in the Java. One are access modifiers, second one is non-access modifiers. So coming to access modifiers, what is meant by an access modifiers? So access modifiers will give you the scope or accessibility of a particular field, method or a class or a constructor. So what is access modifiers? The access modifiers in Java specifies the accessibility or scope of a field, method, constructor or a class. So we can change the access levels of fields, constructors, methods and class. So you can have access modifiers in order to access some data. You are going to give you some access specifiers. Coming to, there are many non-specifier and non-access modifiers are there, such as static, we have seen, abstract, synchronized, native, volatile and transient. So these are all the non-access modifiers in Java. So in this session, we are going to learn only the access modifiers. So in Java, there are 4 access modifiers. One is public, private, default and protected. So there are 4 access modifiers we can use in Java in order to access some data. So why we are going to use these access modifiers? We are having a concept called abstraction. What is this concept? This is an object-oriented programming concept. So here in this concept, what is abstraction? Hiding the essential data and shows only its functionalities. So in order to hide particular data and show only functionality of particular class or method, then that process is called as abstraction. So we have seen examples like bike. So you know how to ride a bike, or you know some parts. So like how the motor is here, the brake is here, or some clutch, like that. So you know what are the parts and how you are going to use it, the functionality of a bike, how it was functioning. But you don't know the internal functioning, how the motor is working, how the brake will work, how the clutch will work. And so you don't know the inner functionality, you just know how to use it. In the same way, in order you people has to learn. So this is abstraction where you will learn, you has to hide particular data and you has to show only the functionality of that data. So that is abstraction. In order to access these abstractions, there was a concept called access modifiers. In order to achieve the abstraction in Java, we are using these 4 access modifiers: public, private, default and protected. So we will see in detail about these access modifiers. So coming to private access modifier. So private access modifier is a private modifier is only within the class. So it works, you can, if a variable or a method which you have returning that the access modifier of a particular method or a variable is private, then you can access that variable or that particular method in that particular class only. You cannot access it outside that class. So you cannot access the outside that class. Coming to default. If you doesn't mention any access modifier, then that would be gone through default access modifier. Okay, so here default access modifier, you can access level of default modifier is only within a particular package. So how it consists of? First you will have some package, in that you will have some class, in that method, like that, isn't it? So if you are using a particular default, if you does not mention any access modifier, that comes under default. So whatever the methods or variables you have defined in a particular class, that could access all over this package. And you cannot, if another package 2 is there, you cannot access this variables in package 2. Okay, so it cannot be accessed through outside the package. If you do not specify any access level, it will be the default. Coming to protected. So here in the protected, if you are declaring a variable or a method as a protect with a protected modifier, then you can access it for the next immediate, or its child class only can access it. So within that package, you can access those variables or methods within that package. And when it comes to outside the package, if that particular class, so that was a parent class of a child class. So this is class 1. For example, if I am class 2 extends class 1. So this is a parent class, class 1 is a parent class and class 2 is a child class. Okay, so if it is a child class of this particular class, then only it can access. If it is an outside of the class. So if you do not make the child class, it cannot be accessed from the outside of the package. If there is no relation in this between these two packages or these two classes, then you cannot access that particular class or methods or variables. Next, coming to the public. Public is by default. If you are writing public modifier, that could be accessed anywhere. It might be outside the class, within the class, or outside the class, within the package, or outside the package. So within the class, outside the class, within the package, or outside, anywhere you can be accessed, because the access modifier is public. Coming to member accessing rules, what we have discussed here, that one, the private is a modifier, so that could be accessed within a class only. It cannot be accessed within a package or outside by subclass only or outside package. Coming to default. Default, you can access within a class, within a package, but you cannot access outside package or outside package by subclass, which is nothing but if it was a child class also, you cannot access it. And when it comes to the protected, so it can be accessible within a class, within a package, as well as if a subclass is there in a particular outside package, that could be accessed here, but it cannot access outside the package if there is no relationship between the data outside. Next, public, it can be accessed anywhere. It can be accessed within the class, within a package, outside the package, and outside the, if it has a relationship, or if it does not have relationship also, you can be accessed anywhere. So here what we have discussed in this session is, first one is access modifiers. Modifiers are of two types: access modifiers as well as non-access modifiers. So why you are going to this concept is to achieve abstraction. In order to achieve the OOPS concept, abstraction, we are using modifiers. So access modifiers are the modifiers which can go with the scope lifetime of a particular variable, method, constructor, or a class. Okay, so here what are you are having? Public, private, default, and protected. So these are the four access modifiers that you are using to achieve, in order to achieve abstraction. And this here you are having many more like static, volatile, etc. Okay. So coming to the public access specifier can be if you are writing a public to particular class, then it can be accessed everywhere. When you are writing private, you can access in that particular class only. You cannot access in a particular package also. So in a particular, the variables can be accessed within a particular class only. Outside the class, you cannot be accessed. Default, it can be accessed by within a particular class, within a particular package only. When it was an outside package, you cannot access it. When it comes to the protected, it can be if you are declaring a variable with a protected mode, protected access modifier, then you can be accessed the particular method or a variable that can be accessed within a class, package, as well as it can be accessed by outside of the package, but it has to go through relationship between. So you has to have an inheritance. So if you are having a child class in other package, outside package, then you can access it. So this is what we have seen in this particular class. Thank you.